Okay, good morning, everybody. Let's go ahead and get started. Let me know if you can hear my audio and see my screen in the chat box. Just give me a little Y or yes there. Just to let me know that it's working. Hope everybody's having a fantastic morning. Hopefully your Halloween was great. And for those of you that weren't here yesterday, hopefully your weekend was awesome too. Let's go ahead and get started. As I pull up the disclaimer here, and then we'll go ahead and trade. As always, I need to remind you about the risks involved in this market. You can lose all or more than your initial investment if you're not careful. So please be aware of how many pips you're risking on each trade, how big your lot size is, and ultimately how that would affect your account if you were to lose money. So please go through that process each and every time to protect yourself. All right, guys. So I don't think there's a lot of news. There was some Aussie news last night. So let's take a look and see what news we're dealing with here. Um, it's a French holiday, an Italian holiday today. Um, so the euro might be a little bit slower. That's okay. I mean, there's still some other euro markets that are open. I don't see the franc being closed nor the pound, so I think those are still on the table. Aussie news later. Let's see. Um, no, excuse me. We already had some Aussie news. We're going to have some dollar and Kiwi news later today. I don't know. We already had some dollar. We had some Aussie, and we're gonna have Kiwi later. And CAD. That should not affect our trade setup. I'm looking for some signals here, like the Euro franc actually looks like an opportunity that we could potentially get into. You can see it's touching this lower Bollinger Band, probably buy that one. In fact, I think I will buy just a couple of trades in there. Um, Nothing crazy though, because um, um, I do suspect that this may go down a little bit further. Let me pull this over here. I'll pull this one over here. Yes, so I'm going to go ahead and buy the Euro franc here. And the mid Bollinger Band is, this will be for the target. Let me zoom in. It's not super far away, so it's not like a massive, at least for now. I mean, obviously, if it pulls down more, that target's going to widen. The distance between the target and our current price or our current trade setup is going to widen, but for now, it's not too far away. We're looking at 8.5 pips of opportunity on that on most of our trades, and then we'll leave a couple of trades to ride at that point. But yeah, I've just added a couple of trades in there just to get started. I actually accidentally added the euro pound. I'm gonna keep those just because they correlate somewhat with the euro franc. So yeah, that's where I'm at with those ones too. But yeah, I've just got a starter position. In fact, I think I might add just a few more trades to that euro franc here, and then we'll let it go. Now, as far as levels go, how far could this go? Well, it can go as far as it wants, right? But what are some realistic levels where this might drop before it comes down? Obviously, right here, a lot of support in this kind of area. And then also right here, below that, I actually haven't been there in quite a while. So let me go to a 15-minute to see if there's anything below that. Yeah, so you'd be looking at most likely this area. And then there's another little spot right there. And all of those are on the table. Now I will show you, it looks like the momentum is slowing to the downside a little bit. It is starting to push down, but slowing just a little. Well, it's about keeping pace. It's nothing huge. Maybe I shouldn't have noted that, but the Euro franc is starting to turn over. This is the biggest, the last several days have been the most bearish um, the Euro franc has been. So um, that is something to be aware of as we're trading this. So I'll probably be looking for a lot more conservative targets. Still a great trade, but it's one of those things just, you got to watch out for. It's not uh, as strong to the upside as it has been for the last, month or so. Um, we've seen some cracks in its ability to send the market higher, which is okay. We just need to be aware of that. Okay, so like I said, I've just taken a starter position on the Euro franc, of which I may add to if the market drops more. For those of you that weren't here, this actually reminds me a lot of yesterday's trade with the Euro pound. Let me actually show you that one from yesterday. And also 1 second, I just realized I need to add some trades over here on my other platform. Let me just grab a starter position. Okay. All right, so yeah, if you go back, let's see, need to find yesterday's trade. Oh, this is it right here. It's very obvious, right? So we traded yesterday this opportunity and it was literally awesome. So um this is where the class started. We didn't actually have a direct signal on this guy right as the class began. The signal got much stronger throughout the webinar. So pretty much about right here, we got an initial signal to buy. So we started buying, right when it punctured that lower Bollinger Band. And then it came up a little bit. We closed a couple of trades and then it just started coming back down. And at first glance, before you know what happens later, you're like, oh my gosh, this is going against me. This is going against me. This is terrible. But hey, look, you're in that banker's close hour. There's no news. The market should not be doing this. Okay. And so you're going to get most likely that banker's close opportunity where this happens. And sure enough, that's where we made our money. Did we capture that full move? No. But did we capture a good portion of it? Yes, we did. We got out of most of our trades kind of back here. So some of our worst price trades kind of broke at break even. And then the best ones, that were priced down here, those are the ones that made us the money. And we had a couple down here that actually came up, and I can't remember if we closed up here or if it was like right here, but either way, those ones were massively successful. Um, and you can see that that was the greatest volatility, the greatest opportunity in the last 24 hours, was this right here. And sure enough, yeah, we caught that, right? Banker's close opportunity. So again, you have to have, I mean, let's say you didn't know that this market was going to go back up. When you're down here adding and you don't know that that's around the corner, that's kind of scary, right? You're like, oh my gosh, I'm adding to this. This thing's just going against me. But if you trade your plan and you manage your risk and you have a small enough position size where this makes sense to add to, when you get that turnaround that you're expecting through the banker's close at some point in the day, this one happened kind of quick, just 20 minutes after the close, we got that move. If you trade that plan, you're going to be really successful and you're going to be really happy with the trade setup. All right, guys. So back to our current setup today. So we're trading that Euro franc, right? And this again reminds me of the trade from yesterday. Um, that's why I'm taking somewhat of a smaller starter position, because I do think, and I do want to be clear with this, I do think that a move lower before we get the move higher that we're looking for probably will happen. Like we'll probably get a move lower first. Um, does that mean I wait? No, not necessarily. Like there's also that chance that it just goes to our target right away, hits that mid Bollinger Band and we're out. So it's one of those things where you're like, well, I need to take the trade, so let me take a starter position. But there is that chance that this guy, and I would say it's a little bit of a greater chance, but nonetheless, I don't want to miss out on the trade. That's why I've started. But I am kind of expecting this market to do something like this today. Maybe just kind of a slow grind down, maybe a few hard candles. I think it might even break this support, wipe out some liquidity, and then boom, you'll get this. Right. So that's kind of my expectation. So don't be surprised if you're like, Steve, you're buying. What the heck? Why are you buying? It's because I'm looking for this guy. Okay. And I don't want to sell right now because at any point this guy could happen and you're going to be stuck in a bad trade if you start selling. So in my opinion, the buy makes the most sense, because of this concept right here. It is going to be slow, right? There's no news. We're at the end of the trading day. London closes in 45 minutes, right? So it's going to be slow per usual, but we're going to get our move and we're going to make our money. Yeah, so I'm just looking at some of these other options, some of these other currency pairs, and yeah, they're already, a lot of them are already pushing lower. This one's just a little bit behind that push. So yeah, I think it's almost inevitable at this point that we get a move lower. I'd be kind of surprised if it moved higher. If it did, then great, we'll make our money and we'll be done. But I do think it might go down a little bit more first. Also, just want to welcome everybody here, especially those that are new. We are building this. We are kind of building the community, and getting more folks in here. So I appreciate you guys kind of pioneering the uh, Trading with Steve. It's awesome that you guys would come here. I hope you guys are enjoying the content. Hopefully, you guys are making some pips, making some money. Again, when you come to these webinars, feel free to ask any questions that you have. If you, um, any questions, nothing, there's no stupid questions. I don't mind repeating myself every webinar just because we get new people all the time, right? And I want to help you guys understand. That's the other cool thing about it. We have a lot of veterans in the webinar too that have been doing this a while. If I don't answer your question right away, a lot of them are willing to answer those questions because they know the strategy in the chat box. So, and that's also a great opportunity for you to connect with other like-minded traders, who maybe potentially could partner up with you in the future. And so just huge value and huge opportunity. And I invite you guys to take advantage of that. All right. So like I said, slow grind, really not much changing. I'm going to zoom in just to watch these candlestick movements here. I'm curious, how far away is this? That's 20 pips away down to this support. So yeah, I mean, like I said, I could totally see this guy coming lower before it comes higher, but probably will. We'll see. Lee says working on the pound yen. That's awesome. Let me actually see. I think I have that one pulled up. Looks like you're probably doing well on that one. It's already hit the lower Bollinger Band. I see that on my watch list over here. and it's already halfway to its target. It looks like, yeah, nice call on that, Lee. Nice call. I am sticking with my three. You guys will watch me trade basically these three, the euro franc, the euro pound, the pound franc, because those are the three pairs that are directly related to only Europe. There's no other connection to Asia. There's no other connection to Canada or the United States. It's just Europe, those three pairs. And they're the only three pairs that are major, um, that have that connection. Um, and it's just because I want something that is related essentially just to the London close, right? When I'm trading the Sydney close, my favorite currency pair to trade is the Aussie Kiwi, right? Because I want to trade something that's most related to that Sydney close. And the Australian dollar against the New Zealand dollar, in my mind, makes the most sense. And then let's see what I was going to say. When I'm trading the Tokyo close, I was up late last night trading the Tokyo close, and I'll actually show you that trade in just a second so you guys can see how it played out. But when I'm trading the Tokyo close, I like the New Zealand dollar against the yen, and I also like the Aussie against the yen. Those are my two go-tos. I did not trade the Aussie yen last night because there was Aussie news. So by default, I just waited for a signal setup on the Kiwi yen. And it worked out great. I'll show you that trade. I made nearly almost $500 on that trade last night. And I'll show you that one in just a moment. But yes, we're just in a waiting game, obviously if we're going to make money with this, with the starter position, we need it to break higher. I'm looking for a target, minimum right here, and then most of the trades I'd like to close kind of up in this area. That's what I'm looking for. And then while we're waiting, I will just show you that Tokyo close from last night. I think that's super valuable to see. So if you pull up this, let's see, this would be between 7 a.m. GMT is an hour before Tokyo closes. So right about here. And Tokyo officially closes at 8 a.m. GMT. So that would be right here. And I got a signal. You can already see it, right? But let's zoom in. My initial signal, this was actually, again, very similar to our euro pound trade. Let me zoom in this way. So the signal has to come on a 5-minute, and then you can break down to a 1-minute chart if you want. But here was the trade. So basically, I got an initial signal to buy right here, right? Breaking the low and Bollinger Band. We're in the banker's close hour right before Tokyo closes, and the Kiwi yen breached the lower Bollinger Band. So I bought, right? First felt a little good, as it started to come up a little bit, and then this bar happened. It's kind of scared me. I actually had to go check to see if there was some news. There was not any news, no news. So I was like, okay, well, I guess we're buying this, right? So yeah, just continued to add, continue to add dollar cost average into that bar. And the signal just got stronger and stronger, definitely a breach in the lower Bollinger Band there. And then this is where you make your money. Absolute crushing it right there. 42 pips in your direction. It did go against me, max 23, 24 pips, but ultimately, 43 pips. Now, where's your target on this? In all fairness, right? Most of my trades closed out right at the mid Bollinger Band. So right there, most of my trades. Can you let several to ride? Absolutely, you should. You should be letting some trades to ride longer to try to hit old resistance levels to try to see if you can get a runner, because you can milk the trade opportunity if you do that. So anyway, that was for me, that was between 1 and 2 a.m. in the morning. So I am kind of tired, but I just feel like when that opportunity is so strong and so available, you got to take it when it's there, guys. Like if that's my philosophy, like if you can slay it and make some good money on that kind of thing, and you know how to do it, you might as well go and make that money. Um, that's just how I roll. All right, let's go back to our Euro franc. It looks like it's moving just ever so slightly in our favor. And I'm going to check some of these other pairs to see if they're lining up. Not really. Let's see. I'm going to close that Euro pound just because that was an accidental trade. I didn't mean to take that. So I'll just take my 2 pips of profit on those guys. And then I'm going to leave. Obviously, the Euro franc is the trade setup I wanted in the first place. So I'm going to leave this guy. Okay, I'm going to put these lines where they belong. We go back to a 1-minute chart. There we go, just past the 3 p.m. hour. That's where we started. And this is the end of the hour. So just as a reminder, these 2 vertical lines, that just represents where the markets, where the initial signal opportunities started, right? We are buying the Euro franc because we got a break in the lower Bollinger Band an hour before the London market closes. And then this last vertical line represents the London close. So when we hit that line in about 40 minutes, the London market will be closed for the day. And the only market that will be open for the rest of the day will be the New York market. And the other reason why I have this out is because in this hour, you're allowed to add to the position. If the signal becomes stronger, so like let's say we get another break lower, you can add to that position as long as you're in the hour. Okay. If we get past the hour, I mean, I'll be honest, I do add a little bit sometimes past that hour, but really you're done adding for the day, and your job at that point is just to place your take profits and put your stop losses in so that you can carry out the rest of your day with some confidence, knowing that you've got your take profits and stop losses set. Okay, so this is interesting. I'm noticing here the Euro franc's holding steady. The pound franc has actually nearly has a setup for us actually to buy the pound franc. However, that would be equivalent to buying this currency pair because, well, almost, right? Because that currency pair has the franc as the quote, and so does this one. The Euro franc would be the quote. So if the pound franc goes down, this one should go down. But if the pound franc goes up, this one should, in theory, go up. We are seeing the pound franc. I'm watching this over here on my other screen. Pound franc is going down. This one is not. So to me, I think you can digest that this currency pair, the Euro franc, has a little bit more strength to it than say than the pound franc does. So I'm pivoting a little in my opinion, unless something changes here in the next few minutes. But this appears to have a little bit more strength than that pair. So it's actually, I would say, more likely now that we just go to our targets than actually going down, just because of that one thing that I just observed. Um, so we will see. We will see if that plays out. Either way, we're positioned okay. Now I just kind of wish I had bought a little bit more, but that's fine. I may not make as much money this morning as I made last night. Um, if I can make on my other, FTMO account, if I can make $300 or $400, um, I'll be fine. I'm already up $85 on that account on this trade, and it hasn't really gone anywhere at all. But um, yeah, like I said, I made like $500 on the Tokyo close last night. So now we just wait. We just wait for this to finally decide what it wants to do. If this goes up again, what we really want is just a nice, clean candlestick or two higher like that, and then we're done for the day. We've made our money. We're happy. We can go. That would be ideal. And that's fun because then we don't have to swing these trades. We just make our money and go. Speaking of, it looks like in that most recent move down on the pound yen held finally. So for your trade, I'd say you're probably still good to hold, um, because it wasn't as affected as the pound franc was. So that one, in my opinion, has some relative strength to it. You're probably good on that one if you're going to stay in it. But um, this is good. We're starting to get a little bit more strength here on that euro franc. We'll see if it pushes higher here, makes that other high I was telling you about. It is slow this morning though, which is a good thing. I actually really like that. I like the slowness, because again, if you're trading through a news event of some sort, this phenomenon may not take place. You may not get this opportunity, um, if there's news, right? So um, it's almost kind of like better to be safe, because I mean there have been many days where the bankers close opportunity still happens even if there's news, but ideally you kind of want to avoid that news. There we go. Hey, we need to respond. Okay, so this is awesome, sweet. I'm going to go ahead and close a couple of these out, um, and leave the rest to ride. Okay, just because we got that opportunity to close there, and I'm closing out a couple on my other account. Sorry, that happens fast. You get those bars quickly and it's like, I got to respond. So now what I'm going to do is since I closed out of several trades at that one line, now I want to go to our final target, which is up here. This is where I want to close out the rest of the trades. I want to get to there. That's my goal. I want that. Let's get it. Um, and then we'll be done for the day. If we can get there, we'll see. That might be too much to ask, but we'll see. And I just closed out of 150 pips, $150 of profit on my FTMO. I have another 150 unrealized. Um, so if this, we'll see if we can get this to rise a little higher, and then I'll flatten my trades. But we are close. We are close. That was kind of fun. It just happened so quick. Also, real quick thing to note, isn't it interesting how much time it spends brewing the opportunity? Just brewing, 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 waiting, waiting, waiting. And then the move we were waiting for, boom, just happens in a few bars, right? So expansions can happen so fast. And when you're waiting, you have to wait for quite a while sometimes. All right, so it's pulled back just a little. We'll see what it does from here. Um, I'm just gonna wait. Just gonna wait. Obviously, in hindsight, I'm kind of mad I didn't buy more, but you got to manage your risk, right? And who knows, maybe we'll get another, we still have 30 minutes left. Who knows? What if it is possible? I mean, there's 30 minutes, maybe it comes down and forms another low in the next 30. If so, that's still grounds to continue to buy. Um, that's still grounds to continue to buy there. Um, hey, good morning, Ramon. Good to see you. Approximately what percentage of your trades did you close out when you hit your first start? Yes, about half. So you want to close about half. Basically, the rule is your target is basically the mid Bollinger Band on a 5-minute chart. So this is a Bollinger Band. Um, you can see you have an upper Bollinger Band, a mid Bollinger Band, and a lower Bollinger Band. Our signal is to buy if you hit a lower Bollinger Band within the banker's close hour, which we did. And then we got to the mid Bollinger Band, so you close half your trades. And then you leave the other half to ride to see if the market will go further. And again, if the signal to sell and to short is if you hit a upper Bollinger Band in the banker's close hour. And then again, you ride to the mid Bollinger Band, which we've already hit. But yeah, we want to see if we can make a little more money before we wrap up today. That's why I'm holding. But yeah, great question. And we wait, right? Kind of a slower day. It's obviously hard to get follow through. As you guys saw here, really hard to get follow through um, on a day like today. Um, we'll see if this new bounce gives us that opportunity. But yeah, definitely slow. And I'm looking at the other pairs. I'm not seeing the excuse me, the euro pound and the pound franc don't really have opportunities right now, nor does technically this one. If you were to just show up to the market right now, there's no opportunity to buy. Um, that ship has sailed other than just to hold your opportunity. And we wait. Maybe while we're waiting, I'll show you guys the Sydney close. The Sydney close is going to have the fewest amount of pips you can possibly make with this opportunity, but still nonetheless, um, it's a great opportunity if you can stay up that late. I think for those of you that live maybe in Pacific time zone or even further west, I'm in Mountain, but if you live further west, I know Aaron, you live out there, so um, if you want to stay up for you, that opportunity would exist from 11 p.m. to midnight. So if you're up that late anyways, you might as well grab that opportunity. Um, and then I'm kind of jealous because you have that Tokyo close a little bit earlier. It's still between, I mean, you're still looking at, um, let's see, you'd be looking at, no, for you, the Sydney would be between 10 p.m. and 11 p.m. because for me, it's between 11 p.m. and 12. So you would have the Tokyo close opportunity between midnight and 1 in the morning. That would be the Tokyo. But nonetheless, let me show you this. I traded the Kiwi yen for this last night because there was Aussie news. So I avoided the Aussie altogether. And let me show you this opportunity. So the Kiwi yen started right here and it ended the Sydney close right here. So in this hour, I actually didn't get a signal. If you look at the 5-minute Bollinger Band, I don't think I had a signal to buy until right at the end of the hour. Yeah, so right at the close, you can see right here in the banker's close hour for Sydney, there's no breaks in the Bollinger Band until right here. Shows right before Sydney closed, I got an opportunity. And I loaded up a position right here, and that went 9 pips to the mid Bollinger Band, and then it actually did sneak up to the upper Bollinger Band for 16.7 pips right there. So, and all of that happened in about 15 minutes, that move right there. And otherwise, I would have traded maybe the Aussie yen or the Aussie Kiwi, which is my favorite, but it did have news, so I avoided it. I think it still had a banker's close. Like if you look at that pair, I think it still did. No, actually, it didn't, because here's what happened. When you have a lot of volatility, these Bollinger Bands widen. You can see they widen here. Why are they widened? It's because of the news event that happened a few hours before the close, right? It's because of this guy. That's why they're wide. And so that you didn't even have an opportunity, which is again why I selected the Kiwi yen for the banker's close of Sydney. Yeah, where do you check news? So there's this awesome website called forexfactory.com. I'll put it in the chat box. I'd say this is like the standard for Forex news in the market. I think almost anybody that's been doing Forex for several years knows about this website. And part of the reason is because if you build out, like for me, I could actually put this calendar on my website because they have an API, or what's it called, a API plugin. So I could actually plug this into my website. And I know tons of other companies that do the same thing. But yes, so let's see what I was going to say about this. So yeah, you can check here. You want to make sure you set it to your time zone so you can be aware of it. It'll tell you, I can see, the Euro, the French and Italian holidays all day. So that might affect the Euro a little bit. You can see this is that news event from last night with the Aussie. We had some dollar news this morning. Anything in red is stuff I avoid. Anything that has news that was 12 hours ago, or if I see something that has news in 12 hours, I try to avoid those pairs. And I focus on the pairs that don't have news. The pairs that don't have news are almost always going to have a banker's close opportunity. Almost always. I'd love to say always, but I can't. I can't say that word. But almost always, yes. And it's just one of those extremely probable trade setups where if you get that opportunity, it's just you're just going to make money, which is great. Speaking of making money, I am debating on buying let's actually go take a look at some of these. Let's go back to that Euro franc. So this is pulled back some, but we're actually still positive on the remaining orders. Here, I was checking, it looks like the Euro pound is just dipping into an opportunity to sell right now. I am really tempted to grab this. Yeah, I'm feeling some temptation here. I'm thinking about it. Let's see. The pound franc actually looks like an opportunity to buy too. Take a look at this guy. You can see here's the mid Bollinger Band or the lower Bollinger Band. We just barely punctured that guy. I think I will grab just a couple of trades here. Nothing huge, right? I don't like to manage two different trades at the same time, but I am going to buy just a small position on that. I'm going to mostly focus still on that Euro franc. But hey, why not try to make a little bit more money? We're still in that hour. We still have a little over 15 minutes for something awesome to happen. Well, just to add, you have 15 minutes. You can still swing your trades. Nice. Okay, let's see where this goes. And let's make sure I got this lined up again. So this was the old support, and this is my other target right up here. We can hit this guy. I'm done. I'm done with the Euro franc. We'll see what it does. But it is slow, and that's okay. But I always complain about it. I think it's especially slow today. I think it's probably due to that French and Italian holiday. I think that's probably the other thing that you've got going on. And I'm going to swing back over to that pound franc. It looks like I've got a little bit of a better price to buy at. So I'm going to buy just one or two more. Just going to scale in just slightly. Spread's a little bit wide on this pair, but that's okay. All right, let me look at the 5-minute Bollinger Band, because if the Euro franc gets another signal to buy, we might buy more into this guy, but we will see. Looks like it's still kind of far from its lower Bollinger Band. Yeah, and I won't add to it unless it does actually hit that lower Bollinger Band. So I'm going to leave that one alone. The pound franc looks to be pushing lower still. So we may add to that one. I may actually make most of our money on that trade just because it's really the only thing that's moving. It's the thing that doesn't have that holiday either. So another thought is maybe we just, if we can get a break even on these Euro francs, I might just go all in on that pound franc just because we finally got something to push right before the close. So I'm kind of shifting my focus a little bit. In fact, right here, I've got these mostly at break even. There we go. So I'm going to close Euro franc and I'm going to put all focus into that pound franc now. So we made 16.9 pips on the Euro franc. And now that we have a little bit of volatility here, I'm going to shift my focus because we do have a little bit of a nice push on this pound franc. So, and you can see the signal is happening right before our eyes here. So take a look at it. So you can see we have the breach in the lower Bollinger Band. It's happening right now on the 5-minute chart, right? Right here. And it's already below it. So this is absolutely an opportunity. I need to buy one more trade. And then we'll just continue to monitor this as that signal strengthens, or heck, maybe this will start coming back up. But now we have a little more volatility to work with without news, which is good. No news. No news volatility is the best. It's the most predictable. So our target on this would be looking to close out most of these, around right here, because that's kind of where the mid Bollinger Band is. So I'm going to move these targets in a little bit. I love this candlestick. Look at this, guys. Perfect pin bar doji right there. Look at that guy. Yep, we're going to get money. We're going to make money today. We're going to make money. This is exciting. Okay, I was like, dang, we're not going to make a lot today. I think we'll get what we want now. This is a good sign. I'm closing out my Euro francs. I still have a few there. And now I'm all in just pound franc on both of my accounts now. All right, so now we just wait. This is kind of what I'm looking for. I'm going to leave one trade up here as a hopeful trade. I love this pin bar. That means there's buyers. So that's what this means for those that are new. When you get a closed bar like this, that means somebody came in here and said, I like this price, like us, but somebody else, probably banks, right, said, oh, this is nice. I will take that. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's what that bar means right there. So we're in a good spot. Even if it came down some more, um, it means somebody or banks really like that liquidity level 10 minutes before the London market closes. So this should be really fantastic. I am really looking forward to this. One or two more solid bars to the upside here, and we are done. We are done. We are done. We're going to make our money and go. I'm just hoping that it can happen in the next 10 minutes. If not, then we'll, um, keep working this trade however long it takes. I'm going to switch to a 1 minute. I did it. Oh, then yeah, that'll be a good one. I'm sure that I'm going to add one more trade here, guys. I really do want to make a little bit of money today. So I'm going to try to milk this or whatever I can do here. Again, you got to be careful. You don't want to over leverage, but yes, I would like to build into this position. Okay, so I'm going to buy a little bit more there on this other account. Just trying to balance a couple of things at the same time. Okay, so if this punches below this line, I'm definitely going to want to grab that. Definitely going to want to grab that if we get another break on a dollar cost average that. Paused right here. It's thinking if it wants to break lower or send it back. Again, if it breaks lower, it could happen quickly. It could be kind of like a violent bar. You get a really quick candle. Okay. Be ready for that because this happens at this time of the day. You get those types of moves and you have to have that courage to be able to grab that. There, here we go. I'm grabbing one. I'm just going to grab one. We'll see if it goes down further. This is good. That I mean, obviously down on this one so far, but that's fine. I mean, we're in the banker's close hour. It's normal. Um, this is good though, because I was saying that Euro franc, although it worked, was really small, right? Like we did not get a huge move out of that. I was like, oh great, I'm gonna make a couple $100. Great. Like, no, I'm trying to make, $1,000 on this trade here, almost 1,000, and I need a little bit more movement to make that happen. Um, and I think this guy has given us just what we want. There's no news. This is just the right type of move we're looking for at this hour. Okay, let's see. What are we gonna do? Is this gonna get violent? Let's see. Kind of happens out of nowhere sometimes. We've got 5 minutes left before the London market closes, which means you have 5 minutes left to continue to expand the trade and continue to add to it if the opportunity is there to add to it. Okay, come on, do something. I want either a bar down or a bar up. Doesn't matter. We just need something here. The more violent it gets, to me, that's an indication that we're closer to a apex lower high. So I know it sounds crazy, but I would actually kind of like a violent bar down like that, and then I can just, add my last trades for the day, and then just set my targets at that point. Also, for those of you that are new, make sure that you join the Telegram channel so you can get updates from me throughout the day. So let me give you, for those that are new, here is, does this just copy? There it is. Okay, so this is the Telegram channel. This is where I update you. So we're probably most likely, I mean, we only have 3 minutes left. I'm gonna swing this trade. We're out of the Euro franc. We're done with that one. We made our money, which is great. But now we're gonna swing this guy throughout the afternoon and throughout the rest of the morning. For me, I still have morning left. I've got 2 hours left in my morning. So I'm gonna swing this out kind of like we did with that Euro pound. The Euro pound took about 20 minutes after closing for this move to happen, right? So, but it is also possible it comes down some more, right? And so I need to update you guys and I need you to be aware of what's going on. So I need you to be in that channel so that I can text you, and let you know how we're doing with that trade. But we have 2 minutes left. Here's what we got to do. We got to place our stop losses for the day and we got to place our targets for the day. So here's where I'm looking to go. So still, this is a great target area up in here. I want to close out of most of my trades in this alley up here. I'm going to kind of scatter a lot of these out right through here. And yes, if we kind of come up into this area, time to close, time to make our money, right? And then I'm going to leave one trade on to ride up to this old resistance. Okay. So that would give us on one of these trades, about 30 pips of profit. The rest of these, I'm looking for 12, 13, 14 pips, something like that, maybe 15. Now with stop losses, what I like to do, and you guys have seen me do this before, we go to Maytaf, right? This is another great website. I'll put this link in the chat box for those of you that don't have it. We look up the currency pair we're trading, which in this case, it's the pound franc. We're going to click on the pound franc. And what we're going to do is find out what today's volatility is. And it's 125.9 pips for Tuesday on average over the last 10 weeks. And what I do is I take 125.9 divided by 4, and that's your stop loss. So from where the market is. So about 31.5 pips or something like that would be our stop loss to leave the trade at. So, maybe bring this up just a little bit more. Kind of up into here would be a good place. And this will protect you from a big loss. So this is a fourth of the average daily range. Again, I do not like putting stop losses just below support or just above resistance. I'm not a big fan of that kind of trading. As you guys know, that's where a lot of banks look to stop people out. So I'm more of a guy like, hey, let's let's base a stop loss on the volatility of that pair proportionally to that pair. To me, that's been the way to go. Okay, so we are wrapping up. I know I've gone a little bit over, but here we are. So gone up a little bit, which is great. Um, Again, I'm just looking to close most of these trades if we get to here, and then we're done. We'll make our money and we'll be happy. And then I'm going to leave one trade out here, and you'll get updates from me in the Telegram channel. We'll let you know how things are going. But other than that, appreciate your attendance, guys. Thanks for coming, and we'll see you in the next webinar.